We are approaching the moment where the lottery of birth, the random chance that has governed human life for millennia, begins its transformation into the selection of design, where chance gives way to choice and evolution meets intentionality. For tens of thousands of years, we have been bound by the biological cave of natural selection, a world in which genes were inherited blind, and our lives, our health, our intelligence, our predispositions were dictated by the chaotic outcomes of ancestry and mutation. But now, in the era of CRISPR, germline editing, and advanced genetic engineering, that cave is being renovated from the inside out. We are entering a reality where humans are no longer merely the products of evolution, reacting to random survival pressures. We are becoming the architects of our own genome, the engineers of our own destiny. Designer babies, once the domain of science fiction, are now a tangible frontier, representing the ultimate inflection point in human history, a moment where equality shifts from a social aspiration to a biological impossibility. The genetic lottery that has defined our existence is being replaced by a market of design choices. Each nucleotide sequence, a line in the blueprint of the next generation. The question is no longer whether we can edit the human code. The question is, who will hold the pen, who will decide which traits are desirable, and who will be allowed to access these transformative technologies. The smartest man sees this as the ultimate exit from the cave of inherited suffering, disease, and limitation. Why should a child be born with a predisposition to muscular dystrophy, sickle cell anemia, early onset dementia, or other forms of inherited suffering if we can simply delete that line of code before life has even begun? Why should fragile bodies, vulnerable minds, or shortened lifespans be accepted as unavoidable, when the laboratory offers a new form of freedom, the freedom to redesign ourselves at the molecular level? This is a level of agency humanity has never had before. For the first time, we can make suffering optional. We can imagine a world where disability, genetic illness, and even certain inherited psychological vulnerabilities are no longer an inevitability. We are stepping into a landscape in which this smart intervention can eliminate the shadows cast by millennia of random mutation. But the saddest man peers over the edge of this new reality and sees a very different future. Because genetic optimization comes with a cost, it risks becoming the ultimate luxury good, a commodity for the wealthy, a tool of privilege turned permanent. If the power to edit traits like intelligence, height, physical resilience, or emotional stability is reserved for those with the means to pay, we are creating a new hereditary aristocracy, a genobility. This is a class not only richer in material terms, but biologically enhanced to be faster, smarter, and longer lived by design. In this scenario, inequality is no longer a matter of income or access to education. It is inscribed into the DNA of the next generation, irreversible, immutable, and devastatingly difficult to bridge. The post-human split is not hypothetical. It is looming on the horizon. Once the wealthy can engineer advantage into every cell of their offspring, a gap between the genetically enhanced and the unmodified becomes not just social, but existential. We are talking about the creation of a species within a species, a biological caste system dictated not by circumstance, but by design. This episode explores the profound implications of the dichotomy of control at the molecular level. We now have the capacity to manipulate the traits of the next generation, yet we are confronted with a staggering question. Do we have the wisdom to know which traits are truly flaws? Human biology is not a simple ledger of problems to be corrected. It is a dynamic system in which struggle, limitation, and imperfection often give rise to resilience, creativity, and character. If we edit out anxiety, do we also erase the neural pathways that spark ingenuity, the restless curiosity that drives invention, or the empathy that grows from lived struggle? If we eliminate risk, do we also erase courage? If we perfect physical strength, do we inadvertently diminish the grace that comes from overcoming weakness? In pursuing perfection, we may be trading vitality for safety, adventure for predictability, and spontaneity for genetic predictability. The cave we are leaving is biological chance. The cave we are entering is a laboratory of human ambition, where the light of knowledge reveals both liberation and the shadow of control. The Gattaca reality is no longer a fiction. In this emerging world, the valid and the invalid are separated by a sequence of nucleotides, and your potential, your baseline for health, intelligence, and ability is determined long before you take your first breath. The post-human era will challenge every concept of fairness, merit, and identity. Are children still free to define themselves if their DNA has been meticulously edited to meet the preferences of others? Are they autonomous beings, or are they bioware, the tangible expression of parental ambition, consumer choice, and societal pressure? As we stand on the brink of this new evolutionary frontier, we are forced to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of humanity itself. Will enhancement lead to a better, freer, more capable human species, or will it create a more efficient, more constrained cage where choice exists only in the illusion of what traits are safe or desirable? This is the final frontier of inequality, the boundary where biology and technology intersect with morality, philosophy, and power. Once this bridge is crossed, there is no portal back to the humans we once were. The lottery of birth is ending. The selection of design is beginning. And in that moment, every ethical, social, and existential decision we make will echo for generations, inscribed not in paper or law, but in the very cells of our descendants. To confront this era responsibly is to confront the deepest question of our time. Do we seek to create a better humanity, or do we merely seek to manufacture a more efficient cage? The answers we choose will define what it means to be human for centuries to come, and the stakes could not be higher. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching, and if you want to see more of this content, please leave a like and subscribe.